Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my December favorites, showing you everything that I loved this month. Also to come is like best in beauty, worst in beauty, best skincare, top 10 foundations, you know, all that kind of year-end wrap-up stuff. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed those videos or you love a classic favorites. As well, I do not have a tutorial for this look, but I will list everything down below that I used. I kind of wanted to do my makeup in peace today and not listen to myself talk for once, because do you ever just get sick of yourself? Just me? Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So why don't I talk about the foundation that I'm wearing right now. I reviewed this during the 12 days of foundation. I think a lot of you were pumped on it and were like, hell yeah, that looks amazing. This is the Quo Beauty Liquid Foundation. I really love this. I know that this line has existed at Shoppers forever, it feels like, but they recently rebranded, revamped, launched a bunch of new products, so I was definitely enticed. Like, I think I said it in this review, but the way they have this display laid out is like so bright and you're just kind of drawn to it, as I am with any new makeup. But I gotta say, I really love this. I will link the review down below. But like, the proof is right here. It has just this beautiful look. You know when you try a new foundation, you catch yourself in the mirror and you're like, ooh, like things look good. It wore really nicely. I feel like it could be good for the majority of skin types, although I did just get a text from a friend and she has a drier skin type. She said that she would prefer like a heavier moisturizer underneath it, definitely to make it work. And she actually was kicking herself for throwing out her Smashbox primer oil. So something to keep in mind if you are like Steph and have dry skin. But I do really like this. So if you were like wondering if you should give it a chance, you definitely should. Then we can move into lips. This is a lip combo that I've been wearing a bunch and really loving. I use this lipstick constantly for kind of lip cocktails, combinations, whatever you want to call it. So the actual lipstick that I'm wearing is from Sephora in the shade 41. It's one of their cream lip stains. And then I put this on kind of in the middle, kind of all over it. And it is the MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color in Mango Mango. I love these kind of really bright peachy shades. I almost probably never wear them on their own, but I love pairing them with brownie rosy shades, and that is how I get like my favorite lip look. I know when I created a lipstick at Bite Beauty in their lip lab like 2-3 years ago, that was what I was aiming for, was like a combination like this that didn't require me to put two lipsticks together. But I do love a lip combo, so this is one that I've been wearing quite a bit lately. Then I've been wearing this a lot too. So something, I wasn't going to mention this foundation. I will now. Okay, I changed my mind because I've talked about it in so many favorites videos and I just don't know if it's going to get like overdone that I'm mentioning all the time, but like I really did wear this like all month. So it's Pat. She's back, okay? I wore this a bunch because there was a bunch of times where I didn't want to be completely makeup free, but I definitely didn't want to put much of anything on my face. So I would just use this pretty much on its own. I'll talk to you about the brush that I used momentarily. And powder. Maybe I'd put a lighter powder under my eyes and my normal powder foundation over, but like nothing else. No bronzer, no blush, nothing. It's a great shade match and a great light formula that used really lightly kind of acts like a tinted moisturizer in my opinion, and something more full coverage like this Quo I would never just wear on its own, but this I can kind of wear on its own really easily. So I would be wearing this, maybe brow gel, maybe mascara. I say like I wear no makeup and then I say I wear a foundation, 2 powders, blah blah, but you get me. But what I've been loving to wear on these types of days is this. I love it because it's really juicy, it smells so good, and it's really glossy but has some pigment in there, but it's not fully pigmented. I'm not a huge fan of really pigmented lip glosses just because I'm afraid it's going to move around and it's just like feels like a recipe for disaster. So this is kind of like a jelly, translucent but with color, and I think it looks really good. I should tell you what it is. It is the Rimmel Oh My Gloss Oil Tint. This one is in the shade Modern Pink, so it's definitely on the more like hot pink side, but it's not an aggressive hot pink. Like anybody can pull this off. I would love to get this in like a more orangey peachy tone shade. I need to see if that exists, but yeah, I really love this, and Rimmel is super affordable too. This is another product that I talked about, I think last month, but it's the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Powder. Now, I love this for my under eyes, but you would have noticed and you would have seen it in action a couple of times over the 12 days of foundation. I had a, there was a powder foundation and then maybe a liquid or two that were too dark, too orange for me. And this really came in handy. So it's a good multitasking powder. I think like also it'll last forever. It's so gigantic. I love this honey tone, but I used it under my eyes, and then if my foundation was too dark, I would kind of put it in the center of my face, on my chin, and kind of in my highlighting spots just to bring the color down a little bit, and it looked really, really good. What did I use it on? The Smashbox Halo Day along with the NYX Powder Foundation Day. So if you kind of want to see it in action, that's where you'll find it, but really, really great versatile powder. Then the brush that I've been using a ton, because in the mid of the 12 days of foundation, like all my sponges were dirty and whatever, and I love this with the Pat McGrath. I love it with really light foundations, which is surprising because it's like kind of a dense brush that you may expect to use only with heavier things, but I feel like for some reason, oh no, I kind of know the reason, but like with a heavier foundation, the sponge kind of like works it into the skin, blends it out, like lessens the coverage a little bit. But with like a denser sponge and like a lighter foundation like the Pat McGrath, that's basically a watery texture, something about it just, I don't know, it blends really well with this. So this is the NYX brush. I don't know what they actually call it or recommend it for, but in the 03, and it's really good. It's not as dense as like the e.l.f. powder brush, if you know that one, like the flat top, or even the, I guess it might be similar to the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, which I also love, but I still would say this is a little less dense, especially after you wash it a couple of times, but I really like it. I don't hear a ton about NYX brushes. I think I learned about this one from Jackie Aina, and I'm not even 100% sure if that's the brush that she uses, but that was my intended purchase when I bought that. Then I've got a couple of skincare items that I'm really, really loving this month. Where I was out of town and came back, it was just like so good to get back into my like more normal skincare routine, but something that I've been incorporating quite a bit, and then I think one or two of you have messaged me and said you picked this up and have been also really liking it, is the Glossier Solution Exfoliating Skin Perfector. So I talked about this in my full face of Glossier, but of course that was my first time using it. I've been using it pretty consistently now, and it's the Exfoliating Skin Perfector that has 10% AHA, BHA, PHA, and it's a salicylic acne treatment, and my skin has been going nuts, staying inside, masks, stress, all that kind of stuff. And I gotta say, I really like it. I use it once a day because I'm trying not to over exfoliate my skin, but I really love like the Drunk Elephant TLC, which is a combo AHA, BHA. I love having that blend because then I also don't need to choose. Like there's sometimes that I'll pair an AHA and a BHA together in my skincare routine, but I would prefer that they came together. It's just doing the work for me. So I gotta say, really liking that so far. Then again, another item that I can't remember if I mentioned last month or not, I don't think I did because it was new to me, but I was loving it and I've continued to use it, is the Yankee List Oat Cleansing Balm. It says it helps remove makeup and cleanse sensitive skin. I did a favorite cleansing balms video recently. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was like debating including it, but I'd only used it for a couple of days. Firstly, gigantic. So big. This is 5 fluid ounces. And I like that it comes in a tube. It's a little bit more hygienic. It's easier just to kind of squeeze it out onto your hands. I use this to remove my makeup and then follow up with a cleanser. It can also be used as a cleanser if you have more sensitive skin, but I really, really like this. It leaves no oily residue. It feels really good. It's a great price. Oat is going to be soothing to the skin, so if you do have a more sensitive skin type, it's great. And I love the Yankee List, so I'm not surprised to enjoy that. Then from Belif, I've used a couple of Belif products, but never like extensively. And this and their hydrating toner I've really, really been enjoying. This is the Belif Youth Creator Age Knockdown Balm, which is a serum. So it says it helps to reduce the appearance of enlarged pores, reduce the appearance of wrinkles, antioxidants, protect the skin from pollution. And the thing about this is it has such a good texture. They describe it as like a bouncy texture. It's just really nice. I think, again, any skin type could enjoy this, from dry to super oily. If you're super oily, you'll prefer to use this one in the daytime, or sorry, in the nighttime perhaps. Not that it's heavy, but just, you know, I know the ways of the oily skin folks. Although I don't have as oily skin anymore, I'm kind of in a combo dehydrated place, but I know what you're like. So I really, really love this. Great texture. Belif is available at Sephora. It's clean at Sephora if that's important to you. And it's just a really great kind of hydrating serum if you're in the market for one. And then finally, from Cerave, they sent me this, and it's such a classic product, but I have been using this and really loving it. I feel like, especially if you're putting it on damp skin, it makes me feel so soft and hydrated. It says that it is enriched with ceramides, which are great for hydrating, non-comedogenic, non-irritating, so this is kind of going to be fun for the whole family. There's hyaluronic acid in there, which is why I recommend putting it on damp skin. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I love scented products, I love fancy packaging, I love all that kind of stuff, and I'm drawn towards it. But if you've overlooked this, like maybe I was doing probably, it is really, really nice. It really does a good job hydrating the skin, and like especially in the winter time, I become a little bit of a crocodile, so really, really loving that. But that is, oh wait, and, okay, yeah. I wanted to start like talking about maybe one thing that I loved a month that's kind of random. So it could be like a TV show, a podcast, an actual item, you know, and this month it's a magic bag. Do you guys know magic bags? Because I've talked to a few people in Ontario and I feel like they don't know what a magic bag is, and I'm like, they're my age, so this doesn't make any sense. Like, it was a classic, I feel like, infomercial thing. It's just a bag of whatever that you microwave or you can freeze, and I've had some neck problems because I've been spending so much time on the computer, or just like, it's just really comforting. Like sometimes during the day I just like heat it up and wear it, and it's good for like period cramps. It's great for anything, and it holds the heat really well. Sometimes do I microwave it and give it to Rue to spoon because it's like a gigantic body pillow for her? Yes, and she loves it. And that's okay. So anyways, loving my magic bag. Got it on Amazon. I'm sure you can get it a multitude of places, but, and like there's other versions, but to me, like the original is this guy right here, and I can't recommend it enough. If you have, I don't know, if you just like warm, cozy things, sometimes I heat it up and spoon it in bed, you know? That's what you gotta do sometimes. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!